when you're not shooting well, the game becomes hard. It really does. But one of our huge emphasis, good, bad, or indifferent, every team's going to be known for something. One of the things that we really emphasize on a daily basis, and we literally sometimes practice with a bubble on the rim, although the way we shot the ball tonight, we wouldn't have needed a bubble on the rim, is we really put a huge emphasis on offensive rebounding. That's a big part of our game. And tonight you see why. Against Prairie View and Florida A&M, we're getting the same shots. You say, we didn't make open shots tonight. They didn't go in either half. But what we did great tonight was offensive rebound. Now, the next game we play, we may make all those open shots because we're certainly capable. But what good teams do is on nights when their shot's not falling, they find ways to win. And, we missed 39 shots tonight. We got 19 offensive rebounds. That's unbelievable. What if we weren't a good offensive rebounding team? There's a lot of teams when they're not making shots can't win because they have to make shots to win. For us, when we don't make shots, we try to go get them and get to the foul line or kick them out for threes or put them in. And everything was a struggle for us tonight offensively. But I loved our effort. I loved our spirit out there. I thought our kids stayed together. Chicken came off the bench and made a couple nice plays. We had a lot of guys that didn't scratch tonight. But that's the beauty of our team. We've got a lot of depth. We don't depend on this guy or that guy. LaRon Barnes arguably was our best player last game. Tonight, he's in the witness protection program. I couldn't find him. But Dotson was better tonight. Next game, Siggy may be great, and Rob Gray was just okay tonight at best. But other guys stepped up. But, as we go through this season, we're going to get a lot more consistent. We're going to get 4 or 5 guys. That's why I think this team can be pretty good because we've got depth and we've got a lot of guys that can help us win. Game 4, you don't worry about it. This was February or January, but it's the 4th game. That guy's a good coach. You see that Hines kid? You see what he did against Miami? So you don't know. You see what Kamasa did against Miami? ACC team, check their box score against Miami. Then you'll see. No, they got good players. Thompson kid played here for 2 years. The little left-hander. He was at Houston. Hines could play for anybody in our conference. Start for most of them. Kamasa's a good player. But for us, it comes down to making shots. I think those are shots that we're going to make as we go along. But I was really encouraged by a lot of things I saw tonight. I like the way Dotson played tonight. He's really struggled being out 18 months. And Johnson, too. Those guys they're not in a groove. You tend to not know their background, like he doesn't know anything about Hines or Kamasa. If you don't know these guys, you don't know their story. These guys haven't played a game in 18 months. It's going to take them a while to get in a groove, get comfortable. And it's going to take them a while to get comfortable with their teammates. And until you get in this environment, practice doesn't do it. Practice is practice. It's important. I view practice different than AI did. But games is what these guys need. And it's their 4th game, and now it's almost 19 months. But Dotson was a lot better tonight. Johnson was good early. Then, he struggles against zone. Some guys are, that's why these teams zone. That's why Northern Iowa beat North Carolina, because they zone. North Carolina did. They lost the game. So what? It's November. It's not football. You can lose 10 games to win a national championship in basketball. That's why North Carolina doesn't overreact to what the score is or is it a close game. That stuff doesn't matter. What matters is, are you getting better? Do you see different individuals getting better? Galen Robinson's stats tonight were no good, but I thought he was a winner out there. If you look at him stats, and if you're looking at the scoreboard and judging the team, or looking at stats and judging the player, you're missing the story here. Galen Robinson was a winner tonight. I thought Dotson was a winner tonight. I thought this kid here was a huge winner tonight. Good to see Chicken come off the bench. But I'm waiting for somebody to take hold of one of these slots. Like X and Burt, I put them in there, and they don't have the luxury of playing 20 minutes and making a ton of mistakes. That's not the way this thing works in their positions. But you know, we have good guards, and we're going to get to the point where 4 or 5 of them are going to play good on the same night. You know, Johnson, Robinson, Gray, LaRon Barnes, and Dotson. That's 5 pretty good guards now. And then our front line is still trying to find itself. You know, Devontae's pretty solid up there. But, you know, those other 3 guys, we've got actually 4 guys that we need a couple of them to step up and be consistent. But that's why, you know, it's still November. I mean, it's our 4th game. You know, you don't reach into your toolbox and show everything early. You're just still trying to teach what we're doing. You know, you can do a lot of things early and be good at nothing. Or you can try to figure out, okay, well, here's what we want to be good at. But I didn't like the pace of the game. So I knew if their point guard, I think, picked his 4th foul up, when he went out, that's when we started pressing. We got a couple of good steals, and we got going. Next thing you know, we stretched the lead out to 10 or 12. Then it got up to 13, and then they hit a 3 there instead of what did we win by? 13. Could have been 16. Could have been 20. Could have been 10. The final score doesn't matter to me.
I only really just saw the game, you know, from one perspective, and that is just trying to play the way that our coach teaches us to play. Now, I don't look at the game in my eyes or whatever. I try to take coach's eyes and see the game in his, you know, from his perspective, because at the end of the day, if whatever we get done out there, it's got to be his way. It's his way or it's no way. It's not what we think about the game. It's how he looks at the game and the things that he teaches us. So that was just our mindset going in is, you know, contain the dribble, win the first dribble, and beat them up on the glass. And I think we did that. I don't think I looked at the score when we was down at that point, 41 to 45. I think my energy just came from because of them scoring too many easy buckets, and it was just time for somebody that was out there on the floor. Because I mean, coach tells us every day he can preach to us and yell at us and do whatever, but he can't make us, you know, do nothing. So it was just time for somebody out there on the court to take the game and change it around. I just did the best I could do.
Yeah, I mean, this early in the season, the team's still trying to find our identity a little bit too. You know, there's a lot of teams, NBA and college. I saw this a lot in the NBA. When they're not making baskets, it really affects them at the other end. They're not mature enough to handle that. They don't handle adversity well. You know, an athletic contest, no matter what sport, is going to be some kind of adversity. You know, when you play a team you think you're better than, people judge you by how much you beat them by. That's not the way this works. You know. I remember coaching at Washington State, and everybody thought UCLA, Arizona should kill us. You know, I mean, that's not the way it worked. You know, those guys are on scholarship. I mean, you guys seen college basketball. You've seen the scores this year. That game like tonight, that Texas Pan American team, that team in a lot of games across the country won that game tonight. And we could have easily lost that game tonight had Devontae not stepped his game up, or had Galen not come in and gave us a spark. But we did, and that's why we have a good team. We're not going to shoot as poor. I mean, we missed 17 three-pointers tonight. We missed 39 shots. We missed 39 shots. That's how you get beat. That scoreboard up there keeps track of points. You got to score points, you know. But because we had great effort on the offensive boards, because our guys kept moving, and they had some tough shots. The Hines kid obviously is a good player. You know, I'd like to have him on my team. He'd start for us. And then the 55 hit some threes on us that he probably shouldn't have got them off, but you know. We held them to 29 points second half, which included a 3 that didn't matter there toward the end. So, you know, I thought our defense was better second half. I thought we attacked better second half. But again, you know, if we'd have made 12 threes and shot 52%, everybody would be thinking we played great tonight. That's just the way the game works.